Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a super insightful video. I'm here with Liam Miller, entrepreneur and founder of Shot Social Agency. I won't speak too much about what Liam does because I'll let him introduce himself, but an extremely accomplished young individual, and really happy to have you on the
Appreciate
video.
it, bro. No, you're the young accomplished. He's a year younger than me, but no, I'm Liam Miller. I help some of the biggest podcasting creators around the world with their short form content. So we basically take their long form, put it into short form content and help scale. We've helped some of the biggest podcasts take them from 150,000 followers to 1.5 million followers. We generated over 30 million views within a 14-day period for one of our clients. And yeah, that's a bit about what I do. Done my own personal brand and loads of other stuff, but I'm sure we may get into that.
Yeah, of course. So first question I really wanted to ask sort of Liam was, what made you pick short form scaling? Like people, you see lots of different business models out there at the moment. Like what made you pick that?
I think the biggest thing at the moment, like with content, is people they aren't seeing how much it can affect your life. Like if you're able to create a personal brand, a podcast, a business page that's posting social media content, and you can create an offer on the back of it and scale the content that you're doing. So you're posting anywhere from kind of 1 to 5 times a day, even on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and you're able to scale that, the amount of attention you can get, and like dedicated attention, loyal fans, people that really want to understand what you're doing, the offers you're providing, you can make so much money for it. And people don't understand, like even like as big as personal brand is now and things, and people know about it, they still don't understand like short form scaling and like the offer on the back of it. People just create content now just to get views and followers, just because it's the thing to do. But even how to make money about it, people don't understand as well. So.
Yeah, like how did you first get into it? Like what were you doing at the time?
So originally I was helping doing some freelance for some podcasts, and then I was like, I can do this for a load of other people. Well, before that I was doing my own personal brand, so documenting my football lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, documenting me as a footballer, like Ashton Hall kind of style, day in a life, which was cool. Generated over 400,000 followers across all platforms, and then just kind of stepped away from that for a bit to focus on the agency, because I was like, well, look, at the same time, if I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to become the person that I want to, I need to focus solely on one thing, and that's when I really focused on the agency. I was doing a bit of freelance work and then turned it into multiple clients, and I found it worked. So.
Obviously you had some big names in the agency now. Like how has being able to meet these super successful people impacted you, and yeah, what have you learned from that?
Yeah, so I can't directly talk about like what we do for these certain like guests. I can't speak too deeply into that, but what I can say is like when you work with some of the biggest podcast creators, like some of our clients are on the Forbes list, like Forbes 30 under 30, one of them's in Vogue, and you work with these people and there's a high standard that you have to hit, and if you don't hit that, then I'll be honest, like they turn around and they go, look, we don't want you. So you have to be able to work like day and night and really get things down to a T, and understand like these people are going to have a load of revisions as well. Like they're not going to be happy with how they look or how something's edited, and you have to be okay with kind of dealing with that. And a lot of people aren't, especially like, for example, the big differentiator between us and like just a normal short form agency or a normal like corporate agency is that they're going to say, oh, this is what works and we're just going to stick with this. The client has no say. But if you actually want to listen to the client, you want the client long term, you have to listen to what the client says. You have to put it in their tone of voice. You have to understand, okay, when they send this amendment, the next time we're going to put this into changes as well, so that it doesn't happen again. And a lot of people get that wrong, and that's the problem. So
yeah. And going back to when you said it's very cutthroat.
Yeah. Like
a lot of people at a young age aren't really ready for that seriousness and that sort of the fact that you have to take it seriously and listen to your client and make those changes. So did that ever come to you as a shock to you at first, like when dealing with these like?
I think it's a good question, because for me it was always like the standard. It was always like I just thought that was it, really. Like it was always with football, obviously growing up, it was like professional standard, you have to be there on time, but like I was always there like half an hour, 2 hours early, like getting ready, warming up, like stretching the change rooms, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then that always like was replicated across every single thing that I did. Like for example, if we have a client and we have 3 months with a client to make sure we work and get things working, we'll do everything in our power to get things ahead. And that's always been my kind of probably a bad obsession in a way, to get as much done as possible, like to a super high standard, so then we can kind of go back and reiterate if we need to, but we're always ahead, and you're not kind of on this rat wheel that most people are. And I think when you're dealing with, for example, these high clients and very like demanding people, if you want to call it that, they have their own standards, and you kind of have to have your own, and you have to also understand when to like push back and not be overrun. Because like I used to, obviously when I was getting into the agency space, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's fine, like I'll amend it, like, and do 10 amendments and then it's still wrong. But you also need to understand, okay, I know my place, I know the value that I provide, this is what works, this is how we do things, and this is going to get the results. But also, as I said, going with the client's needs as well. You have to kind of balance the two. Yeah,
so saying having that belief sort of in yourself and in the value that you can actually provide. Because I know a lot of like young people will be pushed over easily and sort of become, I guess, even a bit scared by these sorts of people.
Yeah, it's a hard thing, and I spoke about it on another podcast, and we were speaking about like the reputation you have to build for yourself as well. Like I think, actually, no, I spoke about it with Ashley Kane. Ashley Kane, obviously he's one of the biggest like people in the entertainment industry. He's got like over 3 million followers, and he does some crazy challenges. And I was speaking to him about it, and we were speaking about like story, and how, as a man especially, if you don't have a story to tell, you don't have something that is going to directly relate to other people. So for example, my story, I've gone from playing professional football to then running ultra marathons to then doing Hyroxes, and I could then go out on social media and tell my story because I have reputation to back it up of who I am as a person. And when you don't have that story to tell, you don't have a reputation to sell, people won't believe the words that you say. So if you can build that reputation, build that self story, and it almost becomes a confidence in yourself as well when you speak, then it's like such a powerful thing as well.
Yeah, no, I really like that. There's a thing that I don't know if you know Higher Up Wellness.
No, I'm not too sure.
On TikTok, where he says that like confidence doesn't come from like shouting affirmations in the mirror, but from building a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you are.
Yeah.
So I think,
Chris Williams as well. He said,
oh, really?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. So I really like that when it comes to sort of that belief. But yeah, like you said, you've got that story and you've got that proof behind, like you do what you say you're going to do, and that sort of which has driven you forwards.
Yeah, it's always like, even when I did the ultra marathons and like my whole thing with documenting my life for football, it was day in the life of, or Road to Pro. That was like my YouTube series. I did over like 300 episodes on there, 200 episodes, and I document every single day, Road to Pro. And there's always this thing in your mind, it's like, fuck, I've been doing this for 300 episodes, I'm still not a professional footballer. But that also sets a standard of like, okay, I've set out to do this, I've said this to the world that I'm going to do it, and I'm going to achieve that. So if I can sit there and I can be like, okay, I'm going to go run an ultra marathon, I'm going to become the youngest person in the UK to do it under 11 hours, I've got 2 months to train, I've done nothing before, and I'm just going to go do it, which is what I did. I said, oh, you're crazy, no, this is, like, it's been done before, no one's going to do that, you're stupid. Like, I posted a marathon video at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I got like 3 hours 15, and it was pitch black. And people were like, oh, you faked it, like you didn't do it right, like you had all this training before. I was like, I just come out and playing football, like that was it. So I think when you can say something, and like when people don't believe you as well, but you know within yourself that it's something that you can fully like accomplish and fully achieve, that's when like you will start to see some big changes. And if you stick to that over time, you give it enough time,
building
like 6, 12, 18 months, and you stick with it, you'll see some sort of success at least.
Okay, so moving on, in terms of like content, like you said, you've built a personal brand to over 400,000 followers. You obviously have the agency which turns long form content into short form content. What is it that makes a good piece of content when it comes to short form, when it comes to building your personal brand? What would be your advice in that area?
So when it comes to building like content or building a social media page, let's call it, I would say the biggest thing is the number you're posting, like the amount you're posting. Obviously it has to be good content, but the amount you're posting, the consistency you post it at. So you can't post 3 times a day and then go, oh, I have no content over the next 4 days. okay, maybe post one time a day and consistently do it over the week.
Yeah.
So if you can consistently post a certain number of videos, whether it's 1, 3, 5 times a day on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and then you're able to look over 1 to 2 weeks and say, okay, this worked, let's double down on this, let's create this, let's experiment with this, let's add this into the mix. Okay, now this worked, let's double down, maybe incorporate the two.
Yeah.
If you can have that methodology almost like a scientist when you go into like these things, even with YouTube, like testing thumbnails, things like this, if you can have that mindset going into your content and understand that it's not going to pop off, like you're not going to gain 1 million followers in a week. You may get one viral video that gains you like a few thousand followers, but you still have to create that consistency to it with creating content. And I think the one thing I missed personally when I was creating my personal brand was that I didn't create a personal brand that was built for people who knew me. Yeah. They knew me for the videos of like the day in the lives, because I wasn't speaking in them, they were all audio. People knew the day in the lives, they didn't know me as a person. So when I went to sell a product or I went to sell an offer on the back of it, they didn't think, oh, like I'm gonna buy from this person because he says it. It was, oh, it's just another product.
Yeah.
So if you can get an audience that like knows you for your speaking videos, like they're engaged with your story, your personality, then they will buy from you when you say, oh, I have this coaching offer, or I have this product I want to sell you. That is when you need to understand there's a business on the back of it, and what you're creating your social media content for isn't just for likes and followers. Like you're doing it for a business mindset as well.
Would you say is the best way about being authentic and being able to truly connect with your audience and with those people watching you?
I think it's about being like true to who you are. Like I don't change in my videos, and I was speaking to Kofi about this the other day, is like, my life is boring. At the same time, my life is boring. I sit here, I work, I go to coffee shops, I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I could go to London, or I travel a bit. But apart from that, my life doesn't change too much, or I just went to London on a brand trip. Like, again, maybe not too boring to the normal person, but to someone who sits at a laptop, it's boring. I'm here from 4 a.m. till whenever it is, probably like 11 p.m. till tonight. And we've been sat here all day, and it's boring to the average person who doesn't want to just stare at a screen. So if you can understand, okay, how can I make this content interesting, but still remain my personality in it, which is what we do. I was saying to Kofi, like, okay, how can we make this interesting? Okay, we'll just go into coffee shops and like switch up the scenery. We'll still go to 2 different gyms, and like we're still planning the content around me and what I like to do, because I like just sitting in coffee shops and working. Yeah. But it changes it up. It still keeps it engaging. And I'm still providing value within it. So for example, we just started a fresh YouTube, and it's like, how can we still remain valuable and still enough information within it to keep the viewer hooked, even though we're going between coffee shop to coffee shop, or coffee shop to here to the gym. Yeah. It's like, what informational insights can I give within it that's gonna keep the viewer hooked, but also give them like entertainment if I go to London, like I did on Saturday to watch the fight, and then say, oh, but this is the lesson I learned from speaking to one of the top creators in the industry and him talking about his pain, etc. So if you can have those little snippets in between your content, that's when you kind of get the authenticity from your viewer as such.
That's really insightful. Next question I was going to ask is, what are your opinions on building your personal brand from when you're just starting out and documenting your journey, or I get some people saying that you're better off building your business, and then once you've got that knowledge and you've got the stories to tell and you've got that behind you, then starting to document when you've got the actual knowledge from it. What would you say to that?
We're pretty much like building out my whole personal brand again now. So we pretty much started from zero on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and I have nothing to offer necessarily on the back of it. Like, there is something coming. Yes, I have the short form agency and things, but I'm not directly doing my personal brand for that. It may bring in clients down the future, who knows, just because of the reputation that I have. But when you're starting out, I would say, like, if you have a business, great, do personal brand, because it's not, there's only benefit from it. Yeah. But if you haven't got anything, like, just start posting content about your life. Start doing like, here's my life, day in the lives, what I like to do, the business that you're thinking of starting, because you can also get like a lot of feedback from viewers as well. So if you create a following of like 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 even, they will give you feedback in terms of, oh, I'm thinking about starting this business idea. They'll give you feedback of what would actually benefit and what they're looking for, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones buying it. Yeah. So that would be one thing. And then just starting, like if you don't start, it's not going to grow. So if you can have 2-3 months on top of when you are going to start, the content's only going to compound and people are going to see more of your story compared to, oh, I'm going to wait in 3 months and 4 months when my business gets going. It's pointless. Like, you might as well start.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, to be fair. And I think like I've seen a lot of benefit come from me building my personal brand when I was only earning a couple of £1,000s from the business.
Well, yeah, you've been building it for how long now?
About a year and a half.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and you're seeing like some good success, like really a lot better than say 6-12 months ago.
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
because it
100%.
just compounds over time. Isn't it?
I found personally that like just having the personal brand gives you a bit more access as well in terms of like just being in your industry. So for example, me, like through reselling, I get sort of better deals when it comes to wholesalers and that type of thing. So building that value, which is in you, like within you, now that you've got that personal brand, just gives you a lot more access. And allows you to exchange that value that you have from your viewers.
Well, yeah, give you a reputation, give you something to speak about as well in like videos of like, I've done this, and self-story again, which is like, it's great to have because you then have more expertise in different things as well, which is good. Like personal brands benefit for anyone as well.
And so you had another brand as well as the agency, Sleep Smart.
Yeah.
What was the story with that? How did it come about?
So I recently just sold that, like no huge numbers or anything, but I just sold that just because I, again, wanted to focus on the agency, and I kind of just pushed everything aside, my personal brand aside, sleep brand aside, and I was like, okay, just agency. And that's when I saw the most growth, like the most exponential growth I've seen ever. Yeah. So with the sleep brand, it came about with me playing football. It was originally like a drop shipping brand, and I was like, oh, I can just turn this into an actual brand because I didn't want to tarnish the reputation of my Instagram. So when I was promoting this business, I was like, it's drop shipping. I can say it's not me, but also like if I turn it into a brand, I can say it is me. Like I own it. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I turned it into the brand. Did well. We got to about 5 figures, and it was doing decent. And then I was just like, I can't run 10 different things. I can't run my personal brand. I can't run the agency. I can't run Sleep Smart. So we were basically selling just sleep products, helping athletes and people in general. So like blue light blocking glasses, sleep masks, nasal strips, mouth tape, just an e-commerce brand. And that was all organic as well. So it wasn't like 5 figures organic, and with e-com you have to run paid ads. To win, you have to run paid ads. So I can imagine like if we actually ran paid ads and doubled down on it, like the guy I sold it to, I was like, bro, just run paid ads, focus on the content, and you're gonna make so much money. Because we basically, myself and my business partner, we gave him the blueprint for it, and I was like, he's gonna make loads of money, he just needs to focus on it. So it was a good brand for the time being, and I learned a lot through it as well of like what you have to do for e-com. And like for anyone who's watching this that's like, oh, what's e-com or what's agency, like you just learn by doing. And I was in that position where I didn't even know what e-com was, or I didn't know what a brand was. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know how to find a manufacturer. Like I just learned by I go on AliExpress, go on Alibaba, like speak to loads of people, go out and network. And like I met my business partner through going to a random run club where he had his sunglasses brand there. Like you just have to start, and it's the biggest thing. But yeah, that's why I said that, because I was in that same position where I would look through like these YouTube videos, or I'd look through YouTube videos and I'd be like, what do they mean? Like I don't get it.
So no, I'm just going to pick on where you talked about it being a lot, managing two businesses at the same time, plus doing your personal brand, etc. So obviously at a point in time, the agency scaled once you dialed in, once you went all in on it. How did you prepare for that? Because when you bring on multiple clients, you can't do all of the work yourself. Yeah,
so where I'm at now is like, okay, I'm going to scale hugely over the next kind of 3 to 6 months. So if I give you perspective on that, it's like, profit has gone down because I've brought on full-time people, like a load of freelancers now as well. So I was like, okay, I want to be ready when I bring on all these clients. I want to provide results to the highest standard we can. And I have them ready to go. I have editors per client. I have time stampers now going through all the videos. I have social media managers ready to post content. So when I get that in place, I can go, okay, I'm bringing on 10 clients now. I can handle every single one. Whereas before I'd have been like 10 clients. Like I'm struggling, I'm drowning to manage them all. So that's why I was like, okay, I need to focus on the agency. That's a big focus of mine, and I need to really dial in on that. so yeah, I saw the most growth with it, and I think now that I'm starting the personal brand, it doesn't take any time away from it because I've put people in place. So for example, I've got Kofi on board, and he's helping with the whole YouTube side, again, short form, with the personal brand, document everything. So if you can get people in the right places as well, like that's a big thing I learned early on, hopefully.
I imagine that also allows you to, one, because you're prepared for those clients to come on, it then allows you to fulfill those clients to the best of your ability as well, instead of
I mean, I spoke to you about it, I was saying to you, like, just try and get someone that does your job like as best they can, or even like better than you, hire it out, and then you can focus on even like going even further as well. Like if you can find the best people within your industry, like, and you treat them right as well, and you think, okay, long term, like I want this person to be long term with me, I want to pay them well, I want to like them to grow in the role, or like them to grow with me, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to grow, because those people are dedicated on the vision as well. So, and
I think the last question I'll probably ask is, what advice would you have to somebody who's sort of in a position where they're building, but they haven't, outsourced as much as they probably should, and it's because it's a scary thing. I know a lot of people find it difficult to take that risk and sacrifice that profit for a couple of months to go in. What would you advise?
I would say just do it. Like I was at one stage, I was doing all the editing, I was doing all the posting, I was doing all the Canva reels, covers, all the carousels. Like I was doing everything, but I was drowning in work. And then when you step back and you're like, oh, I can just manage. I can tell someone how to do this. Oh, they can actually do it better than me. They can turn it around quicker. Oh wait, when they turn it around quicker, I bring on more clients. Or when they do all the ironing, I can then bring in more stock because I can get them to do all the ironing, and then I can sell more stock. And you end up realizing when you bring people on board, you have way more time, you have a lot of more ability to scale. Yes, up front, the first 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 months, it's a little less profit, but you have the ability then to scale. And it is scary to make that initial investment, especially when you have like little capital. But if you can take that risk, like the worst that happens is you're in the same position you once were. Maybe a little less money, but you know how to make the money. So the worst that can happen is you're back at ground zero. And I always think, my business goes to zero, I go back to my parents' house, and the worst that happens, I start another business. I start doing social media again. Like, it's always going to be there. There's always going to be some sort of media representation online. So if you can understand that the worst that happens is, even if I end up on the street, the connections I've made and like the people I've met, I'm sure I could get a job anywhere. Like, just think, what's the worst can happen, And I'm not saying go take stupid risk and go bet all your money on a flipping house, but like within reason, understand that there's nothing bad that can come out of trying. Otherwise, the only thing that can come bad out of trying is just regret.
And learning. Nice. And when it comes to you outsourcing, how are you making sure that your employees, or now that you're managing, are doing the job that you want? Do you use like SOPs, all of that in the end?
So a lot of my stuff, I'll have SOPs. So I'll create like one SOP per, for example, if we're creating carousels or we're creating reels, I'll create SOPs for that. I'll then get my lead editor, so he'll create brand guidelines for each reel or each client. He'll create brand guidelines for, so font colors, sizes, texts, positioning of logos, things like that. And then so he'll put that to the editors, and then once they, for example, they do something like, let's say they create 10 carousels and like 5 of them are bad, 2 of them okay, 2 of them are great, I'll go through, do like a Loom video or like a quick time player recording, speak over it. Oh, I really like this is what I would have changed on this, but it's okay for now because it works. These 5 need changing, and then they understand that over time, and you make those adjustments over time, they really just kind of start to get it and dial in with it, really.
We'll move on to sort of your sporting background now. So what was it like growing up trying to make it as a professional footballer?
It was always like me going to school before training, like training before school, like to the gym, training after school, and then team training. So like 2-3 times a day. And then it was a lot of like just on my own, like head down, focus on it. I'd be sitting there at lunch and like I'd be eating healthy salads, and like people used to call me a fucking rabbit in school. They used to sit there and call me rabbit because I was eating like healthy salads, chicken. I was like trying to lose weight because I was also overweight. And I understood, okay, if I need to become a professional footballer, I have to lose weight. I have to become faster. I have to do all these different things. I have to train. I have to go to the gym because that's going to make me stronger, faster. And like I always knew this in my mind. So I was like, well, why am I not doing it? So I did it, and then you get all this like hate and things. But to me, I was always like, I don't know, I always went against the grain with things, and I still do now. I never wear the same clothes as anyone. Like I never wear the same designer brands really. And that was just a big thing for me. I was like, I didn't really care. So if you can have that mindset towards things when it's like, you don't care, and like you're just so focused on your goal. And when I was focused on, for example, becoming a professional footballer, there's so many setbacks. So you have to understand that it's nothing personal at the end of the day. You give you everything to your goal. And if you have setbacks, just take it on, learn, and like have nothing, and don't really care about people's opinions, because it's just that at the end of the day, just opinions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I really like that. You said those setbacks. How do you think that sort of translated from sport into business? Because I know for me, like I spent my entire childhood growing up trying to become a professional rugby player, and to fall at the last hurdle, you know, the last year of academy, you don't get signed, that sort of gutted feeling, you feel like the whole world's over. But that going into business has allowed me to be absolutely dialed in, because I know what it took for me to get to that position where I was so close to a pro contract. Like you said, we'd be training every day, we'd be gymming 6-7 times a week, and it all comes crashing down, and there's not really anything you can do about it. But how's that sort of, that ability to bounce back, how has that helped you with business and allow you to sort of be dialed in as well? Yeah,
I mean, for me, like the most growth I've ever had was the last 7 to kind of 12 months with it. And it was like, I had something like last month or the start of this month even, and it was like one of the biggest setbacks I've had in the marketing side of the business. And I was honestly so down, fuming, mad. Like it was just like, I was so upset. And then I sat there for like an hour and I was like, what am I mad at, you know? I'm living in this nice apartment. Like I should be grateful for living here. I'm making whatever I am a month. Like I'm in the 0.01% for my age. I've done all these different things. And that's, I think, when the self-story comes back into it as well, is like you can rely on that and have that confidence within yourself to when these bad things do happen, it's like, oh no, I've actually got this story to tell myself, and this is just another one of those things where it's like just another hurdle that I need to overcome. Yeah. So I sat there, I was like, okay, like how can I fix this now? Like how can I overcome this? How can I work around it? And don't get me wrong, everyone's gonna get mad in the moment, or like angry, upset, whatever it is. But if you can have that mindset, like Alex Hormozy says it, where he says, like, if you can find the positive in the presence of like there being no positives, like that is such a profound thing that will help you. So that's something that you can try work on and try as much as possible, and it is hard, but it's a real thing for growth. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always found that as well. Like at the end of the day, like what's happened. You are essentially what you're thinking of. There's a million bad things you could be thinking of in the moment right now of what's going wrong. If you're actively looking for the good, then you're more likely to be like more positive with everything that you do, and you're going to see that growth. So
no, 100%.
No, that's really like that. How did the ultra marathon come about?
To be honest, one of those things where I was playing professional football, I always saw people like David Goggins just go fucking run for the sake of running. I was like, okay, one day when I stop playing football, I'm gonna do it. When I did the ultra marathon, I was like, oh, why not challenge myself? I was like, I searched it up. I wonder what the quickest time is for my age, because I never really saw anyone do ultra marathons at my age. Yeah. And then it was like some rapid time for the world record, and I was like, okay, maybe not that, but I can beat the UK record. And then I did that, and yeah, it was just a crazy experience. Probably wouldn't do it again, but it was a good experience.
What was the preparation like for that? Did you
just long running and loads of food? Yeah, just eating. You can see in the videos I used to be like chubbier because you just have to eat so much.
Oh really?
Like just to keep up with the training load. And yeah, it was hard, but it was fun.
And the high rocks?
They were fun, but yeah, honestly, like after it, I was like, I've been pushing my body so much over the past 5, 6, 7 years, playing professional football, to the marathons, to the ultra marathons. I was like, I need to take a break. I need to focus on the business. I need to just kind of reset. And my body was kind of cooked after that as well. After like doing 4 or 5 of them, I was like, okay, I need to chill here.
No, I totally agree with that. I think for me as well, when I was playing rugby, it was like you hear all of the incidents of people post like professional rugby getting like dementia and that sort of thing. Yeah. And it's just something that I completely don't miss about it now. Yeah. Like being able to just go to the gym and be pretty low impact It's a change that I'll never go back to. So you say a lot about becoming a new version of yourself every sort of 3 to 6 months. Like, what is that about?
So the reason I say that, and the reason like it's happened in my life, is that I've changed so much in 3 to 6 months, is because I'm, in a way, just like, I lock myself away and I just focus on one thing. And when you do that, so for example, with the ultra marathons, like I locked myself away for 3 months. I just ran. And then I became a complete new version of myself with that. And I unlocked like another self story. I was like, oh, I can do that. And for example, the last 3 to 6 months for me is like a new version of myself intellectually, which I never had before. And it was a new version of myself because I focused so deeply on it, and I focused like so much on growth in that aspect, and never even used to be able to speak like confidently like this. And I think with that 3 to 6 month thing, it's like if you focus solely on one thing and you focus like deeply and intensely, and every day you're trying to get better at it, you will become like an insane version of yourself. And I've always, like, it's always for me been, okay, last 2 to 5 years, it's always been every day, just constant improvement, constant, like the last 7 months for me has been this table exactly, like this table in that other room or here, whatever, just on this level in the apartment, like just sitting here, like locked in working. And that's why I've been able to change so much, and like I've grown insanely. So I think I say 3 to 6 months is because if you focus greatly on one thing for that time frame, you will like change as a complete person. Like your success will change, like your fitness will come along with that as well if you keep up the gym and things as well, and you're dedicated in that aspect, because I think hand in hand they like you probably do as well, like health and business go hand in hand. But yeah, like you can change so much, and I'm sure you've even seen that over the past 3 to 6 months.
Definitely. I think a big thing that I've learned in the last 6 months is that you need to be improving every area of your life. And if you do end up have something that's dragging you down, whether it be business, whether it be health, whether it be your like how you are spiritually, that will weigh on you and it will drag you down, and it will drag the rest of you down as well. So it's really important to have that sort of well-rounded approach and sort of to be dialed in at everything, and that comes with setting new standards, that comes with holding yourself to, you know, a higher level. Finally, last question that I would want to ask you is sort of what's the goal going forwards now? And I mean, you say a lot that you still feel behind now, as accomplished as you are at such a young age.
No, I don't class myself as accomplished.
Where do you see yourself going?
For me, I want to teach people what I've done. I think there's so much within the short form space that people don't understand yet. And I just want to push that message because there's so much money to be made there as well. And if people can understand, okay, if I can create a short form like content strategy, I can create Instagrams, TikToks, YouTube shorts, or even YouTube videos and drive towards short form. And I can create an offer on the back of it. So if you can create an offer, a coaching offer, and I was speaking to this guy about it on the weekend. Basically, he's in Love Island. He was in Love Island, and he's just felt kind of lost now. He has this following over like 500,000 followers, and he was like, I just don't know what to do. Like, I feel a bit lost. I do PTing, etc., and I help people with their bodies. I was like, bro, just set up a VSL. You have I was like, how much of your following is engaged? He was like, probably like 80, 90%. I was like, bro, you have the following, they're engaged. Just set up a VSL with a funnel. Like, do a coaching offer, whether it's like an ebook or a 3-month mentorship, like just do that and you can make so much money with it. And people don't understand that. Like they just think they're posting, like he just thinks, oh, I'm just posting because I'm getting views, girls are liking it, etc. But like, no, you can, like social media is a business, and that's what I want to push out. So for me, I'll probably do some sort of coaching thing where I'm helping people. So if you are interested in watching this, then reach out. But
make sure to tag it all in the description.
I'll do that, but I also want to move potentially Middle East. I'll probably move to in the next kind of 5 to 6 months. What else do I want to do? Grow the short form agency to a place where I can kind of step away for like 2 to 4 weeks. Not that I would, but I'm still working every day. But if I wanted to, then it compounds and it grows on its own still, and it gets better, and the results keep getting better day by day. And then that's pretty much it for me. Like I'm very happy and content, and I have a private life for a reason, because I don't really like share too much. Like investments wise, I have investments and going to be doing well by the end of the year with it, but again, I don't really speak too much about it because I don't gloat about, like I'm not going out there and gloating.
I know that's something that you're always talking about as well, is moving in silence.
Yeah.
Where did that lesson sort of come from? And
it's a hard thing. Like a lot of people, as much as they say they want to see you do well and like see your success, like there's a jealousy factor that comes into it as well. And when you have a success at a young age, so for example, I went to view this property to invest in, and there was this real estate agent, and he was obviously older, like I'm 29, or I was 19 viewing it.
Yeah.
And I viewed it, and then he was very like rude to me and Kofi when we were in there, and like we weren't filming, and then he's like, oh, like what's going on? Why have you got a camera? Like you're not filming me, are you? Like we weren't even filming at the time. And then he was very rude, and look, he might have been having a bad day, whatever, you know, like I'm not saying that. But then when I put in the offer, he's like, oh, like you need to show all these financials, like you need to show more than the property's even worth. So I sent it, and then I sent like 10K less than what the offer was, just to show I could like afford it. And then he's like, oh no, you need to show X amount more and this, that. I sent it to prove it to him. He's like, oh, okay. But it's just like the jealousy factor that leads into it as well. And there's so much more that comes with that. Like I've got hundreds of stories with that from people even closer to me as well.
Yeah.
So if you can understand that, yes, people may say they have your best interests at heart, and go into it. I'm not saying like don't be friends with people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying go into it and know what you want out of things, and know who you are as a person. Be okay with, okay, if this person treats me badly, or if I give my all, am I okay with like it just being taken, you know? Am I okay with it being taken for granted? Yes, cool. Then you know within yourself that you gave everything you could, you know you did the best that you could, then it's done. Like you can't be upset, you can't be unhappy about it, like it's done. So yeah, I also think like when you're building things in public as well, and I like, as much as I like to shout, oh, I'm going to do this ultra marathon, I'm going to become a professional footballer, I think when money gets involved as well, and you start saying, oh, I'm investing in this, that, like, there's people that will try to tear you down for it, and people try and come for it. So I think you just have to be careful with that as well.
Yeah, I think also there's a part of that that's like really important to be obviously authentic, like we've always talked about, and because there are a lot of people out there at the moment in terms of social media who do.
Well, people start to overestimate what you're actually on. If you're living, like let's say you're making whatever it is, 10K a month, but you're going and living this like 100K a month lifestyle, and people think, oh, this guy's on 100K a month, I'm going to go whatever, take X amount from him, or I'm going to go treat him like this way. Or people think you're in that, and like on social media, people think you're in that, and you're trying to live up to that. You're actually just like dying inside, because you're like, I'm only making 10K a month.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. So I think try to underestimate what you earn, as much as it is good for like the publicity side. I just don't even like bringing money into the fact that like a lot of my posts, I don't say that like, on my short form, I don't say I'm making X amount a month, just because it's a marketing tactic that a lot of people will use, and I understand it because I'm in marketing. But yeah, so clearly over the last sort of 6 to 12 months, you've progressed a whole lot more, probably exponentially more than you had when you'd been doing your business for years before that. But what are some major things that have changed for you mentally, and what are the main lessons that you've sort of learned pushing through those sort of higher amounts of money? I would say there's kind of two aspects to it. So there's one aspect which is like the self-reflection aspect. Like I lean on this quite heavily now, is like reflecting on things that have happened, understanding why they've happened. So it can go back to money, of like understanding why you spent X amount on this, or like why this money came in, and why you made this more this month, and like reflecting on things that have happened, and like really understanding it, and understanding how you can kind of improve and grow from that. And that doesn't mean in a financial aspect, it means like personally as well, and me as a person, with friends, family, relationships, whatever it is. If you can grow, that's a big thing intellectually. And then secondly, the aspect of, for example, with money, it's like, okay, not going beyond your needs just because you're making money. Like, I still wear the same clothes. Yes, I dress up probably better now. Yeah. But it's probably the old clothes that I was wearing were probably worth more. But I just dress more professional now, because I actually like dressing like this. But I don't know, I was in this mindset that like, oh, I just sit in my tracksuit. No, I feel good dressing like this. And if you feel good dressing in what you like want to work in, your work's going to be good. You're going to go to the gym, you're going to speak to people more confidently, you're going to go out more confidently. So that's one side of it. Obviously money can bring, but if you can understand that money is just a byproduct of it. And if you can create a good service, a good product, a good whatever it is that people enjoy, people use, like the money will come. So like, I hate people say do what you love, because I think you fall in love with the process sometimes. Like I didn't think I'd be doing podcasts and helping podcasts grow, but I've fallen in love with the process of like creating systems now to like make it grow and like get editors in this way and timestamps in this way to then put it all together, and then it creates one short form piece of content. Like you wouldn't even understand how, like the way it goes. Like there's so many different context systems now, and if you can understand that you just fall in love with the process of things after you like dial in on one thing that you like, maybe like, not love, then it'll be a lot easier. You know?
Yeah, and she's saying also almost like don't be focused on the money, focus on creating a service of value, and that will come with it. Yeah,
like there's some weird services out there. Like people flipping make 20, 30K from like knitting courses, for example, just because they love knitting so much and teaching other people it. So you can make money in anything. It's just about like understanding the ways to make money in it as well.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, I think that's been very insightful, so I really appreciate you giving me the time to.
No, I appreciate me being on your channel, bro. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.